everything should be running okay. If it is, then welcome everyone to another episode of Random Race Commentary. Been a while, I know, again. Just thought I'd stream this exhibition race of the Nukeshot Endurance at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, since it was added to the game recently. So I'm just going to quickly check the balance of performance. Everything seems to be in order. Alright. Yep, audio seems to be working a-okay for now. Let's just tell everyone. Okay then, so again, been a while, probably a bit rusty, but we'll see how this goes. All good fun at the end of the day. I should probably get the keyboard controls switched on. Yep. So at the moment we have Swablu on pole position, however he has been given a start at the back of the grid penalty due to switching cars mid-qualifying to the TSO 50 there. Wake in the 919. Interesting, he's choosing to go with the LMP over the GT Porsche, considering that was his car of choice a season ago, and he was a little bit frustrated he couldn't get it again, so he's really fallen in love with the car. Good to see. Splurge is currently qualified third, Tribe fourth, holding up or just getting past GT there. Dredgen Racing, safety car driver in the NES, actually getting a bit of track time now. Fred is somewhere, he's in 6th, Joe 7th, there's Joe. 8th is TSR Stig, 9th is Farron, and Jimmy is in 10th. We're about to get this underway. So we're going to have a formation lap, and then we should be getting into the race once that is over. 25 racing laps here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Again, here is the grid for today. Wake on pole, Swablu alongside, Splurge third, Tribe fourth, Dredgen fifth. That is the 5 LMPs. Then we have Fred on pole for the GTs, Joe second, and Stick third. It's fun being a race director. So of course a bit further down as well we have Farron and Jimmy. Of course a lot of people just getting used to the track. It's a fantastic addition to the game. A lot of people have been talking about it, and I could very much be mistaken. This might be one of the first broadcast multi-class races in GT Sport at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, so that's always exciting. As we see the LMPs warming their tyres up, waking the TSR Sugar Rush performance car that we see regularly in the Nukeshot Endurance series, Splurge behind as well in the Martini and Rossi Grand Prix design. Tribe Racing going for a, I want to say Dragon Speed, I could be wrong on that. Based on a real LMP team nonetheless. Dredgen, there you see in the R18 and Swablu behind as well. So all 5 of the prototypes are hybrids. The McLaren stands out as having the highest straight line speed advantage, with it being the least effective of the hybrids. So it's going to be interesting to see how all these different cars do. Of course, we're running NES custom BOP for the LMPs. We're running polyphony spec for the GTs. Here you see Fred. Good job with them to get pole position at their home circuit. Interesting, there is both Belgians that have took pole. Clearly a bit of circuit knowledge, although it is a circuit many are familiar with. Perhaps not with the physics of GT Sport quite yet, but this is going to be a fantastic tool for them going forward. Joe of the Fire in the Nukeshot Motorsport car, the bright green. Fred Dude, of course, in the Starscream Enterprises design. Stig in the Aston Workshop Aston Martin. I remember seeing that design on, I think it was Jimmy's page recently, so cool to see that. Farron in the Porsche GT team 911, and we have Jimmy in what seems to be some sort of factory BMW-esque concept. Very interesting design on there. So the cars are making their way through the final sector now, heading towards Blanchimont. I'm probably going to butcher many corner names, but I shall do my best. There. So the cars going double file now, making their way up through the bus stop chicane, and we are about to go racing here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. And Wake leads us off. We are racing down towards the La Source hairpin. Does anyone make a move down here? Looks like Swabler's going to try the outside. Looks like Stig's going to try and make a move on Farron. Wake with a very commanding lead so far. The Porsche hybrid certainly helping him as they make their way up through Eau Rouge and Raidillon for the first time. Fantastic to see the prototypes go through here. Look at the kind of speed they're carrying. A Splurge in the McLaren going to try the outside line. Will he get it stopped? He does, and Splurge has taken the lead. And Wake has gone off. Wake's into the wall. Wake into the wall, and surely he's picked up damage from that. Indeed he has. He's absolutely binned it. Now making their way through the Russell hairpin. Surely he's not going to be able to keep up with Tribe with the damage. Meanwhile, the GT's a bit further back. Joe of the Fire's making his way up the order. He's now up into the lead. The BMW's still on the outside line as they head up towards Pouan. Round the outside he goes. Will Fred be able to make it stick? Just about. Is Joe still there? Stig's trying to get involved in this one as well. Surely they're not going to go 3 wide through the pith path. Surely not. And indeed, it is not the case, and Fred just about manages to retake the lead. So Splurge on the straights, really with an advantage in that McLaren at the moment. Swablu managing to stick with him though, in that R18, I believe that is, no, TSO30. As that is Dredgen going a bit deep at the bus stop, and Wake diving for the pits. It was a single car incident, so it wouldn't be a safety car. Here comes Joe again, gonna try and make it stick around the outside. It'll switch to the inside. side by side through the bus stop. Who's going to get the run up towards La Source? The BMW seems to have a bit more grunt in the straight line. And Stig's going to try the inside. Oh, was there a little bit of contact? Couldn't quite tell. Fred goes wide, and now it's side by side between Joe and Stig on the way down to Eau Rouge. The Porsche, rather, of Farron also getting close in the mix as well. And you gotta think the BMW with the slipstream should be able to get past the Toyota relatively shortly. Here we are on board with Fred Dude, Joe the Fire defending the InsideLine.com. Yellow flags up ahead. Not quite sure what has happened there. It must be something in LMP. Has something happened to Dredgen? Let's go and take a look. Was it just Dredgen losing it by themselves? Yes, it was, into the gravel, spinning the car around, lucky to not get any damage until they hit the wall, and they did get damage from that. Oh dear, Dredgen. Poor Dredgen. Well, with that damage, he's going to be off the pace of the rest of the LMPs. Single car incident again. It's still Spludge leading the way in LMP at the moment. Swablu just behind. Those two seem to be the two that have broken away from the rest, as Spludge sets the fastest lap of the race so far, 1:58.4. Very sideways there from Wake, as Fred up in 6th at the moment overall, first in GT, up through Blanchimont, heading down towards the bus stop. We saw Joe try the outside here before. Is Fred gonna leave the door open for him? No, brakes late enough. Oh, Stig running a little bit too much on the AstroTurf there, nearly loses the car, manages to hold on to it. Heading down towards the La Source hairpin again. Things have started to calm down a little bit, as we're seeing Wake and Tribe in a fair bit of a scrap. I was dead certain that Wake came into the pits earlier. Indeed he did, to fix the damage, so he didn't lose too much time in that pit stop, because he's right on the back of Tribe again. Will they make the move down the inside? Porsche on Porsche, down the inside of Pouan, and that is a fantastic move by TSR Wake. Let's see that one again on replay. The onboard down the inside, far braver on the brakes there. Drive just having to give up the position on that occasion. So that puts Wake up to 3rd. Dredgen, oh, bumped McGee over the curb, really struggling. I believe they're still running with the damage. So they're going to try and play this to see if they can get a safety car of sorts. Although even then, pits would be close, so interesting. Not quite sure what they're planning at this stage. Perhaps just waiting for an opportunity to perhaps save the tyres for a latter stint. Fred's starting to get a bit of a gap on Joe, not broken the slipstream entirely on the Toyota, but it's certainly having a bit of an effect. Dredgen does indeed come into the pits this time. You can see Joe is getting a smidge closer, not quite close enough. Now will the GTs get out ahead of Dredgen? No, I think Dredgen is just leaving the pits. Yep, there they are. Down through La Source. Farron's starting to get a little bit far back from Jimmy as well. Still a lot of race to go. bit further up. Actually looks like Swablu could be making a challenge here on Splurge. He's a fair bit closer than he was before. Swablu goes a bit wide. He's gonna be in the slipstream though, and out of the bus stop I think he might be able to get the McLaren on acceleration. The TSO50 having a more potent system of hybrid than the McLaren. We'll have to see how it goes. Gonna go on board with Swablu. How much does he gain? Not all that much through there. Now the La Source hairpin. Again, it's going to be just about sticking in the slipstream, I think, for now, for the Toyota. Perhaps setting something up a bit later on in the lap, up through Eau Rouge, Radion, and onto the Kemmel Straight. Doing a good job to stick with the McLaren on the straights. Fred still having to defend from Joe off the fire. Joe seems to have caught up a little bit more as the tyres are starting to go off just a little bit. Making their way through Blanchimont and up towards the bus stop again. Will Joe be brave enough? He thinks about it, puts himself in the mirrors of Fred. Thinks better of an actual move. And not the greatest of exits from Joe from the bus stop there. Although he still manages to set his personal best lap of the race. Stig, meanwhile, is dropped back a little bit in the Aston Martin. It seems that just not having the slipstream seems to be the reason behind that. If he was still in the slipstream, he might have been able to stick with them a bit better. Be interesting to see if Jimmy starts catching up as well to the back of the Brit, his countryman. You see Farin just going over the crest of Radion onto the Kemmel Straight. Currently at 3 viewers. Nice to have you all along. I know it's been a while, but still nice to see some people tuning in. We're still having a fantastic scrap at the front between Splurge and Swablu. McLaren definitely has the legs on the straight, as you can see. Even with the slipstream, the Toyota not able to catch up. Hello to Hunty the Punty in chat. Good to see you around. Purple by 0.5 of a second through Sector 1. Although that is comparing it to the fastest lap of Wake in the Porsche, which gains its lap time through the second sector. So interesting to see Wake showing his pace. Would certainly be in the mix towards the end if he keeps this up. Although his front tyres are starting to get quite worn. That is the downside of a hybrid system. A four-wheel drive hybrid system anyway. Making their way through the Piff Path. Swablu just sticking with Splurge right now. Going to monitor their tyre wear of the two cars. It would seem Splurge's is slightly better. That would be due to running in clean air, relying more on the downforce grip than the mechanical grip from the tyres. Wake has just typed something in the chat. ED. It might mean MD. I'm going to check. Oh dear, well, no one was around him on track. He wasn't lapping any cars yet. speaking of lapping, it would seem that the LMP leaders are coming up to lap the first set of GTs, and Swablu down the inside of Russell. Oh, fantastic camera work by Jack Wilkinson there on the exit of No Name. Both going to try to go down the inside. That's a penalty for the Toyota as both cars run wide. Splurge going to Narnia. But that penalty should be easy enough to serve around here for Swablu, but he's going to be absolutely minced on the straight by the McLaren unless he can break the toe. Maybe get a car in between him and himself, and Splurge rather. It would seem that he's just about done. That Splurge is really struggling on the tyres now. The McLaren not as good on one tyres as the Toyota. And indeed, Swablu has managed to break away. He's not quite going to catch the Aston of Stig yet. He's probably going to get him on the run down towards La Source. The reason it's not so random is because this is a somewhat planned race, Hunty. That's what is going on here. NES rules, NES drivers for the most part, and a couple people that we also know, such as TSR Stig and Dredgen, who is the safety car driver for the NES, of course, or one of them. So that is the situation, as Wake has managed to catch up to Tribe again after Wake had to make that extra pit stop. So the Dragon Speed car is being caught up by the TSR Sugar Rush Performance machine, both Porsches of course. Should be an even playing field. Of course, Tribe is AM split, Wake is Pro split. I think we might be able to see the difference that makes. Not quite brave enough to go side by side through there. Oh, Wake nearly around the outside of Radion onto the Camel straight, just about alongside. Yep, front wheel ahead of rear wheel, now side by side entirely. Tribe, has he outbroke himself? He has, and that allows Wake to go through. Let's just see this one again. Here is Wake just managing to stick to his braking point. Tribe on the inside needed to brake a bit earlier, and it just about broke at the same point, so went a bit wide, and Wake gets back to the podium. Splurge into the pits, not any damage, so this is a scheduled pit stop for the McLaren driver, so in he comes. Yeah, it would have been good if you could have joined us, Hunty, but never mind. As we have Brandon joining, he's more than likely just going to be watching the race here. So what can Splurge do here? Is he going to try to make this an undercut stint? I can speak. Well, he's picked up a penalty through Rouge and Radion, so 0.5, easy to serve again on this circuit. You can actually see by the delta, it is really coming down. He's got to get through the traffic again that he's already lapped. Here's Fred, the leader of the GTs. Oh, a little bit of contact between the two of them, but the McLaren gets its way through. Yeah, a lot of people have been watching the Formula 1 today, Hunty. That's probably why quite a lot can't make it. But it's good that we have got a decent-ish sized field for today. Splurge again going to Narnia, will probably pick up a penalty for that, although he has probably lost time by doing so. Indeed, the delta back up to around 18 seconds. Oh, and he's lost it, has he? Into the wall goes Splurge the second. That is huge drama, and he's picked up damage as well. What happened there? Single car incident, no doubt about that. He just lost it, and into the wall he went. As Tribe has also picked up major damage, it would seem. What happened to Tribe? Let's see. Oh, he's just got rear aero damage and he's spun out into the wall. Be interested to see where I actually may have got that damage from. Whether it was like a late braking GT or something. Nope, all the GTs seem to be running A-OK at the moment, as Joe has made a pit stop. Farron coming out of the pits as well. They're going to try and get a bit of an undercut on the super softs. So this is going to be Joe's chance to see if he can catch back up to Fred. Fred, meanwhile, being lapped by Wake. Giants Nation 546 asking, how do I make this commentary? Just asking. Well, essentially, I've start streaming through the PlayStation service directly to YouTube. I set up a lobby in Gran Turismo and all that, plug in my mic, and it's really straightforward. I have a keyboard which I plug in to the PlayStation as well. It allows me to have replay functionality, and yeah, it's relatively straightforward. It's not that difficult to do. By all means, try it out yourself sometime. It's some great banter you can have doing this sort of work. So Fred, leader in the GT class, still staying out. That is an interesting call. And Splurge, of course, would have had to have lost more time with the extra pit stop. But interesting to see Wake is only 1.8 seconds behind. Or around 2 now, because of the McLaren's extra straight line speed. All thanks to NES patented, not so patented balance of performance. Tribe still down in 4th. 25 seconds ahead of Dredgen at the moment in that R18. Would have expected the R18 to do a little bit better around here, if I'm honest, with that mechanical flywheel hybrid system. But nevertheless, hasn't gone his way yet. Still a lot of race to run. We are getting closer to half race distance. It's only over a third race distance. Quite a while ago. As Tribe has come into the pit lane, will they be able to get out ahead of Dredgen is the question. Oh, they have picked up very heavy damage again. That's interesting. They're on fresh rubber, racing softs. They do indeed rejoin ahead of Dredgen. They wouldn't have only just got back to the pits, would they? Well, Dredgen has made a pit stop for tyres as well, racing hard, so he's going for a very long stint here. Fantastic camera work. Swablu with a 32-second lead. That's looking very commanding at the moment. You can easily fit in a full pit stop, fuel, tyres, even damage repairs, the lot within that kind of gap, I would imagine. So he's looking quite comfortable right now in that TSO50. Although it is a car that in the past has been a very tricky one, as GT leader Fred is coming into the pits, so those super softs have run their course and they are now being swapped out for brand new Michelins. This is going to put Stig into the lead of the race for now. I think Stig's going to try and make it to the half race distance marker to make this a one stop, whereas Fred is going to be stretching it a bit depending on what compound he goes for in his final stint. Could make it on fuel if he fuels up max, yep. And he's going to stay on super softs, so that's going to be an interesting one. There you see Joe with the Flyer. So Fred gets out ahead of Joe. Joe will have a bit more speed to carry up through Eau Rouge and Radion. Will be in the slipstream as well. Here we go, rear wing cam as our LMP leader is into the pits as well. Look at the speed of the Toyota in the slipstream. Fred going defensive. Will Joe be able to hang it around the outside? He's got used to the tyres. Oh, a little bit of onion bar, geez, but looks like Joe just about through. No, Fred fights back. And they're still side by side heading up towards the Bruxelles hairpin. Still trying to get down the inside. And Joe has to give it up. Perhaps he was trying to go for a bit of an Alex Albon through there, but didn't quite work out for him if he was. So he's just going to have to stick with him for now. Quick tyre check. They are on different compounds. Racing softs for Joe, so he needs to play the long game here, although he has pitted early, or earlier, as Stig is really crawling around the circuit at this point. Surely he's going to make a pit stop this time round. As, what was that? Was that an LMP? Oh, so Swablu's actually come up to lap Tribe. It would seem that was quick. A Tribe really not having the best of times with it. Blue flags being waved, of course. It's being a sort of more casual event ish. Blue flags might not necessarily apply to a lot of situations, nevertheless Tribe getting through. Stig does indeed come into the pits. Now how far down the order will he drop is the question. The Aston Workshop team changing their tyres efficiently. Brand new Hancocks for the V12 Vantage, and where will he rejoin? He's fueling up. Will be out of the pit lane shortly. There he is, and there's Jimmy, so he really has lost a lot of time. 14 seconds down to Joe with the Fire, and Jimmy would have seemed to have got a little bit of their gap back, as into the pits with heavy damage for Swablu. What happened here? Heavy damage. I'm gonna have to check on Tribe as well here. Yep, pits closed. I'm gonna have to say it. So we are under the first safety car period here. No pit stops will be allowed during this particular part of the race. So our order is currently Swablu, Wake, Splurge, Tribe, Dredgen, just about managing to keep on the lead lap, I believe. There we go, that should send Dredgen on his way. So this is really going to close the gaps down. Fred, the leader in the GT category at this stage of the race, with Joe just behind in second. Stig is going to be able to catch up in the Aston Martin. And Jimmy as well, right on back of them. Farron, it's going to really benefit them as well. They were a fair bit behind. Now they've gotten used to the circuit again in the car. They should be able to hopefully stick with the cars ahead, as Swablu, temporary safety car, currently at the start-finish line. Just trying to burn a bit of fuel, is that? Interesting tactic, make the car a bit lighter. Gotta be careful, although it looks like he's going to have enough to get to the end. So that's an interesting tactic. Making their way up through Eau Rouge and Radion at record speeds here. Who do we have left to catch? So Tribe is on his way catching up, as is Dredgen. Fred there and the rest of the GTs. Has dropped back. I'm not sure what's happened to Splurge here. He's not out of fuel or anything. Oh no, it's his connection. Oh, he's going to be absolutely fuming about that one. So Splurge is out of the race due to his connection yet again. Definitely worthy of some Fs in chat. He's really been suffering with that a lot recently. Thanks to the F in chat, Giants. As you see, these guys keeping the tyres warm. It's going to be interesting to see who pits in. Judging by the fact almost everyone's caught up as we now go through Puan, we should be able to have pits open this upcoming lap. Yep, splurge in chat. My condolences. I really had no idea what to say. Just really unfortunate what's been happening with you recently and your PlayStation. Really hope that it gets fixed as soon as possible so it can't happen again. Pits are going to be open this time around. Then after that, when they get on the Camel straight, I'm going to allow the LMPs that pit to pass the GTs. Wake getting a smidge close. Or maybe it's just the camera angle to the back of Swablu. Well, at least you could sort of still enjoy the stream. That's, you know, looking very, very much on, oh, what's the term? I can't think of the term, but at least it's something. So, again, unfortunate, but I suppose these things happen. Alright then, let's see. Tribe ahead of Dredgen on exit, okay. So we're down to 4 LMP runners. Gonna have to quickly check everyone and make sure they don't bin it into each other. Tribe getting a smidge close. It will more than likely be safety car in this lap. Oh no, oh Swablu, please don't. Oh no. Don't do a tribe, please. That's the last thing we need. Oh dear. Well, we are 10 laps of the race to go. So these guys are going to be charging up their hybrids to get ready. So we're gonna get racing underway again shortly. Will I do another one soon? You see, it's been so many months now since I've done one compared to this one. I just sort of do it whenever I feel like it, or whenever I have the time. Hopefully, sometime soon in the future, once the regular NES season's done, I should have a bit more time. So hopefully some more channel content will be coming to us. But right now, they're heading up towards the bus stop. It's going to be Swablu leading us away for the restart. Here they are, going through the bus stop. The LMPs, Fred Dude there, the leader in the GT category. I can't speak. Gonna be go at the timing line. Toyota versus Porsche hybrid off the line. It's green, 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 and the cars are off again. Oh, bit of a slide from Swablu. Looked like Dredgen went a bit wide as well. Fred. Oh! Massive slide there from Lord Stigworth, I believe. Well, no, it was Jimmy in the BMW, so he was sliding around. Up through Eau Rouge and Radion they go. Fantastic speeds carried by these cars. The LMP's really broken away. Here goes Wake trying to overtake Swablu. No, not quite. Oh, Tribe running a bit wide in the back. Looks like Dredger might be able to get a move done on them. No, not quite. Very, very close stuff at the moment. Back to the GTs right now. Fred Dude's still leading them off. The top three starting to get a bit of a gap. Now Stig managing to stay in that slipstream as I mentioned earlier on, seeming to make a bit of a difference. Has he broken the slipstream down to Jimmy? Not quite. Wake all over the back of Swablu. Fantastic, so if he's going to try around the outside, no. That's square off the corner a bit. Making their way up through towards Blanchemont. Not really slipstreaming there from Wake, so staying off there. Will they try anything into Le Bus Stop? Oh, just putting himself in the mirrors again. Bit of a twitch from the TSO 50. Nearly said TSO 30 there. As the Porsche gets a monstrous run on the straight. Fantastic acceleration as that was a massive slide from the R18 back there. And that is Wake up into the lead of this race. Oh. Just missed that somehow. Hold up. There we go. Now will Swablu be able to make a move on the Porsche around the outside in the slipstream? Oh, he's late on the brakes. Has he overcooked it? No, he hasn't. Fantastic move by Swablu to retake the lead. Now will Wake be able to stick with them? Swablu goes a little bit wide through Brussels. Now through the no-name corner. What can the Porsche do? Now going for an onboard here of Porsche. You can see the kind of speed that he's able to carry as we come up towards the pith path, also known as campus. Almost every corner on this circuit has multiple names at this point. Now the Porsche's hybrid does last a bit longer than the Toyotas. We're about to see that makes much of a difference here. Well, the slipstream should make a bit of a difference. Coming up through Blanchemont, flat out in these cars, relatively easy, even in the dirty air. Will Wake try and send it? He's going to try it. Side by side through the bus stop, gonna try what he did the lap before. And the Porsche's hybrid, look at that. The acceleration, although the Toyota's still there just about. Will they try and get the Max Verstappen cut back? No, Swablu goes wide. Swablu over the AstroTurf. That might ruin their chances of getting the slipstream down the Kemmel straight. Meanwhile, catching up on the GT action, it's actually Joe of the Fire who has gone into the lead of the category. So that must have happened a little while ago. Sorry, we just about missed that. But Joe in the aerodynamic green machine up into the lead of the GTs. Taking Fred Dude with him though. Fred leading most of the race so far. The classic camera shot from Jack Wilkinson of Eau Rouge. As I just noticed a smidge further back, Jimmy with a 0.8 second penalty, and Farron in the slipstream. That Porsche could catch up, although it isn't really gaining even in the slipstream on the straight. Jimmy will have quite a bit of time to get rid of that penalty. Wake has really started to break away from Swablu. So if he can keep it together, his last lap was a 1:58.002. If Wake keeps this together, he should be looking good. His fastest overall was a 1:57.0, 1:56.3. Wake absolutely screaming around the circuit right now. Of course, he would love to win this race here at his home country of Belgium, making his way up through Radion. As I mentioned earlier, a car which he initially not too pleased with, but has certainly grown quite fond of it. Purple in Sector 1. As Swablu with a 0.3 second penalty. Supersoft seemed to be the way to go in this race, just giving you extra grip. Dredgen pretty much by themselves now, but they are up into third, and considering they were down in fifth for quite a while, that safety car seemed to really help their chances, and now they are on the podium, but only 5 seconds back is Tribe in that Dragon Speed Porsche. Their last lap was a 2:18, so again, really respectable time there. Of course, they are used to running the TSO 50 in the Nukeshot Endurance Series as Tribe, so trying out something a bit different. To the GT battle, as we can see, it's extremely close now. Fred trying to make a move now. They head down towards Brussels, and down the inside goes the Belgian. Joe gonna try and Albon it, is he? Can he? No, not quite. Fred shuts the door. Car 27 demoted a position. These two have been fighting it out all season long in the Nukeshot Endurance Series on Half the Race Gone. Be sure to check it out if you haven't already. That is Half the Race Gone on YouTube. Of course, wait until this race is very much over and done with. It is far from over. Seeing some fantastic battling going on. Now, will Joe with the slipstream be able to get the move done and back past? It's going to be interesting. Let's see if he can do it. Going to go on board with Joe of the Fire's car. You can see 155 miles an hour. That's 250 kilometers an hour through Blanchimont. Going to try the outside as we have a major damage call from Dredgen. Gonna have to check that one out, Chief. It was a collision with Tribe, I think. Oh wait. Safety car pit's closed, unfortunately. It's gonna have to be. Although Wake did manage to just sneak into the pits. Although he was committed by the time of the call. So that means that this pit stop is not going to be an infringement. So really could it get close with that call, and he's gonna come out in second, and that's really going to annoy Swablu, considering there's a fresh set of supers for the Belgian. So it's going to be more than likely a last lap shootout, or a last 2-lap shootout here at the end of the race. Who do we have to catch up? Well, the GTs still have to catch up as well, I suppose. Fred has gone into pause. That is a decent way, actually, of catching up safely to the safety car trains, just to go into the pause menu. The AI isn't going to be in the car, so that's actually a decent idea there from Fred. Yep, credit to Swablu for slowing the pace down. So we're going to more than likely see the pit lane opening here. Sorry, just not talking as much, just trying to think my way through this. Oh dear, try not to leave. Yep, pit's open. As pretty much everyone has, or will certainly catch up to the safety car train. So it's going to be Swablu. Does he actually try and go for new super softs in an attempt to try and catch up to Wake, or does he just go for the track position and hope his tyres last? Oh wait, what was that? Was that just a bit of oversteer, I think? Wake is the only car that doesn't pit. Oh wait, no, Wake does pit. And because they're pinning, that means that it's going to be the order that they come out of the pits. So Wake has pretty much just given away their position to Swablu. And even Tribe and Wake is going to be last in LMP because of this. That is extremely unfortunate on the strategy call of TSR Sugar Rush Performance. gonna have to be safe. Okay. It is going to be a 2-lap shootout then, but Wake has really just thrown that one away. I really don't get why he came into the pits. He had no need. Unless he was a bit short on fuel, but I don't think he was. He could have just stayed out, kept the position. His tyres were far from worn. He only just made a pit stop. Don't forget, just as the safety car was called. He was committed to the pit lane, so no penalty. That is a very odd one, and now pretty much the whole field, except Tribe and Dredgen, so they didn't go for tyres in the end. That's an odd one. Although all of the GTs are on a brand new set of racing super softs. Is anyone running it close on fuel? Not really. Everyone fueled up quite well. Tribe with quite a lot of fuel for the end of the race. So reminder for the 2-car length gap, don't want to finish under safety car. That would be peasantry. Although it has happened before. Well, they're making their way through P1 and now down towards the pith path. We should be getting the race started. I'm gonna say whether we will, or if there's been contact by the time they cross into Sector 3. I'm almost certain that back on Gran Turismo 6, Spa was split into 4 sectors, but nevertheless, 3 sectors here, as it is in real life. Although some Grand Prix circuits are split into 4 sectors on this game, it's weird. So we're going to get racing again soon for a fantastically close and exciting shootout. This is going to be some great racing, let's hope, as they are making their way up towards the bus stop now. Swablu will be leading off the LMP. Surprised Dredgen isn't a smidge closer. I suppose he can wait until the timing line, of course. As we are just about getting there, it is green, 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 and the cars are off. 3 wide in LMP already as Tribe gets squeezed to the outside. Wait, takes advantage up to second already. As Swablu makes a bit of a mistake, Dredgen as well. It's absolute chaos back here. Swablu still just about in the lead. 3 cars within a second of each other, making their way up through Eau Rouge. What was it that happened to Dredgen? Let's see if we can catch it. So it just seemed that they got a little bit caught up. No damage for them, that is lucky. Now going to the GT battle, Fred leading the cars as they make their way around Joe in second under a bit of combat from Stig. All these guys extremely close to each other. Swablu still just about defending from Wake. These two have broken away yet again. Wake with 0.0 penalty, apparently. It's gone now entirely. So now it really is just going to be a last lap shootout. As there's a little bit of overtaking going off a bit further back. Just saw, I think. Maybe that's just the deltas. Stig dropping a bit back from Joe and Fred. So both categories is going to be a two-car shootout pretty much for the win. Wait. So back to the LMP battle we go. 7/10 the difference between Swablu and Wake. Wake 2/10 purple on his own lap time, so he's absolutely charging right now. Will he be able to do anything to catch up, entirely make a pass? We'll have to wait and see. Making their way through the Brussels hairpin. Porsche's hybrid certainly helping it out through this middle sector. Will it be enough? The Toyota does have a smidge of a lead on it. Oh, Wake goes wide at Puon. Fred's starting to get a smidge of a gap on Joe the Fire as well. It's going to be close, but at the minute it looks like Fred is going to take the win. Still a lot of race to go. They just need to keep their nerves under control as the leaders are making their way up through Blanchimont for the last time. It is a 2.2 second lead by the end of it. It is going to be Swablu who takes the win. Coming through the bus stop now for the final time, there is Wake. A fantastic battle between the two of them throughout this race, but it is Swablu who takes the win here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Wake will finish second and try making their way through the bus stop now. Gets a podium result. Fantastic job by them, the Dragon Speed Porsche. Dredgen in the R18 finishes fourth. They were running third for a while. Missed out on it in the end. What's happening in GT? Fred and Joe, it's a bit closer. Will it be a dive bomb? Oh, very late on the brakes from Joe. Was thinking about it but realised he couldn't get the car stopped. It is going to be Fred taking the win in the GT category from Joe of the Fire. And TSR Stig rounding off the podium in GT. TSR Jimmy in the BMW M6 will take the Jeremy Clarkson Award for not last but second to last, and Farrin will come across the line in 9th. The only GT AM driver, it has to be said, so very good job with them to be as competitive as they were. But it is victory, of course, to Shiny Swablu. Congratulations to them, and of course congratulations to Fred Dude as well. What a fantastic race we just saw. There's a reversing Porsche. But what on earth was that? That's one reason to watch the stream. Mayhem like that. Hope you enjoyed the race. We had over an hour's action in that full-on NES experience. That was certainly an interesting race. Here are your final results. It is Swablu taking the win. Big up Nukeshot Motorsport on your driver there, the racing suit. You can find that on my profile if you are that desperate. Of course, buy the merch. Congratulations to them. Nevertheless, though, Fred, of course, winning GT category. GT's only got lapped once due to the 2 safety cars we had. It made for a fantastic finish. We hope you enjoyed the stream. I certainly have. It's been good to get back into the run of things with the streaming, with the commentating. Again, little bit blank in some places with me having to check out the incidents as well, but perhaps that will come with a bit more practice. Of course I'm constantly trying to learn all the time. Please leave feedback in the comments, and leave a like on the stream if you've enjoyed this fantastic race that we've just had. Until the eventual next time, this has been NS Zokia on Nukeshot Motorsport YouTube channel, signing out. Bye folks.